Howdy y'all, welcome up. I had a great Easter and got all the candy they wanted and found all those Easter eggs if y'all went Easter egg hunting or potato hunting if y'all colored potatoes, because I know eggs are pretty expensive nowadays unless you raise chickens. Now, the image in the background here is an AI rendering of Tommy Boy running away from a ghetto Easter bunny with a cake in his hand with a couple birthday and Easter cards from his grandma. Found this to be very, very funny, and hopefully y'all did too. And I actually forgot it was Earth Day this morning, so here's a meme of Earth Day. Hopefully y'all go out and plant something or do something good for the Earth today. And this meme's about the Earth making fun of the sun because it's actually his day. Just telling him that actually I get a day every week and you only get one day out of the year, so this is pretty funny. So now, let's go ahead, get into the forecast of what we could expect for the next couple of weeks. You know, last week was a very active week. Severe weather. Vince actually got him a tornado on camera with one of his Weather Eye deployment cameras from Project Weather Eye. Go check him out. It's very fascinating. One of those cameras actually took a direct hit from the tornado. It's a very frustrating day for him because the stream kept screwing up. He caught him one finally after having an active week last week, and it's looking like this week could be another active week. So we have a slight risk today from Texas up into Kansas with a marginal risk that extends up into Illinois and parts of Wisconsin. Now on Hump Day, there's a little less threat, but still a slight risk down here in Texas. And on Thursday, marginal risk, not much to worry about, but still significant severe weather could still happen on low wind days. We also got to keep an eye out on Monday, as there's a 15% chance from Oklahoma into the Dakotas all the way into Iowa. Now, we don't know what the main hazards will be just yet. I'm expecting all hazards, but make sure you stay tuned about X and Facebook pages, as I'll keep y'all informed on there as to what the timing and the exact hazards will be. So make sure to get prepared ahead of time, y'all. Best to prepare for the worst and hope for the best, especially this far out. Now, as far as the hazards go for the next couple of days, mainly a hail and wind-driven event today and tomorrow, with the tornado threat being a low end threat. But regardless of the threat of tornado, make sure to know your safety action plan. Be hyper weather aware. Have those phones charged up. Make sure you have all those alerts turned on. Set to loud just in case it's a late evening and overnight event. And you know where to go. Storm shelter, basement, closet, interior, away from windows. As long as you prepare for the worst, like I said earlier, and hope for the best, you'll be just fine. Now let's take a look at the timing for the next couple of days. Take a look at HRRR for this, as it's looking like this could be a late evening into overnight event. Could be right around, I would say, 8 o'clock Central through right around 1 o'clock Central is when I would prepare for significant severe weather, including tornadoes. Now keep in mind, the main hazard is going to be high winds and large hail. I would expect upwards of right around 20 to 30 to 40 mile an hour wind gusts, so make sure you pip anything you don't want blowing around or damaged from large hail tonight. As far as the tornado threat goes, low end threat for tornadoes, as we take a look at the significant tornado parameters, shows us where the most favorable ingredients for tornadic activity could be at. I would expect the tornado threat to ramp up at right around, I would say, 8 o'clock Central through right around 1 o'clock Central, so make sure to have those alerts turned to loud so as to be a late evening into overnight event. Make sure you to seek shelter in a basement, closet, interior, away from windows. As long as you do that, be just fine. Now, as far as Hump Day goes, we're going to take a look at the NAM 3 kilometer. This is a lower resolution than the HRRR, but it'll give us a rough estimate of the timing nonetheless. Now, I would expect tomorrow to be a late morning at right around, I would say, 9-10 o'clock in the morning through early afternoon event before finally tapering off. Keep in mind, hail and high winds is going to be the primary threats tomorrow, with the winds being even higher. So I would expect right around 20 to 40 mile an hour wind gusts tomorrow. So again, pip anything you don't want blowing around or damage from large hail. Take a look at the tornado parameters. Going to be maxed out at right around, I would say, 9 o'clock through right around noon, 1 o'clock. So again, have the alerts turned on, know where to go when that tornado gets issued for your location, prepare for the worst, and hope for the best is all I'm saying. You'll be just fine. Now, to take a look at what we can expect for the next couple of weeks, we're going to take a look at the GFS and zoom out here. Now, I already know about the severe weather for the next couple of days. Living down here in Texas and Kansas, make sure you're hyper weather aware, know where to go when that tornado gets issued for your location. It's looking like the central and eastern part of the country is going to be coming in on a very soggy weather pattern as we head into this weekend, so make sure you set those weekend plans accordingly. And it's looking like the west coast could be coming in on some very dreary conditions with some snow in the higher elevations. I know there's some ski resorts that are still open, Some of them are actually going to remain open into May, and unfortunately some of them are going to be closing early, unfortunately. So if you have any ski resorts open near you, get out there and enjoy them, as you could have a fresh snowpack up there. And now on Monday, we got that 15% chance for severe weather. I'll be keeping y'all posted on X and Facebook on this. I don't know what the exact timing will be just yet. Can't really show that just yet. This is pretty far out still. But again, prepare for all hazards. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best. And it's looking like we could be coming in on a very active weather pattern as we head into the end of this month and into the beginning of May. So this is pretty far out. Can't will change, but this keeps up. Could be heading into another active weather pattern with some potential flooding occurring out east, as there's actually a slight risk for that from the 29th into the 30th. And I'll show y'all the rain totals all the way out into the 30th. We can see the reason why they issued the slight risk is because we could be coming in on right around 2 to 4 inches of heavy precipitation. So we could be coming back into an active weather pattern with some potential major flooding going on here in the central and eastern part of the country. We do not need it. We've been dealing with a lot of major flooding here lately. The desert southwest, y'all really need it more than us, but unfortunately, coming back into another flooding and severe weather pattern once again. Typical springtime weather pattern, y'all. And once we head into May, it's looking like we could be back into a little bit of a drying pattern here out east, while the northwest will be coming back into a soggy weather pattern. So basically, I'm going to rewind this. Severe weather the next couple of days. Very dreary, soggy as we head into this weekend. So make this weekend plans accordingly. Going to be pretty soggy and dreary out west. Enjoy the ski resorts if any are open out there. Of course, Monday got the severe weather threat. So make sure you're hyper weather aware ahead of time. Know what you're going to do. And then we're going to be heading to another active weather pattern as we head into the end of this month and the beginning of April with some flooding occurring. And then it's going to start to dry out as we head into May. Now, I will have a May Outlook video up on April 29th, so stay tuned for that. I'm actually putting the finishing touches on that, so stay tuned for that video, as it's looking like we could be heading into another active month. Now, as we take a look at the 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook by the Climate Prediction Center, we can see much of the country is heading into an above average precipitation pattern, unless you live out here on the East Coast, up into the Northeast. And I'm surprised they don't have the desert Southwest in the below average, because it's looking like the drought's going to start to worsen down there, unfortunately. Next 8 to 14 days, we can see much of the country is heading into an above average pattern, unless you live down here in the Southwest, over here into California. But I would expect up here in the Northwest, y'all going to be heading into a soggy pattern in the short term, but I would expect y'all to start to dry out as we head into the beginning of May. Now, as we take a look at the drought map, we can see the Southwest dealing with exceptional drought down there to extreme drought. And unfortunately, there's not going to be any sort of relief down there, unfortunately. So I feel bad for y'all down there, because here out east, we're going to be dealing with a lot of heavy rainfall, which y'all need. Wish that rain would go down there to y'all. Y'all need it more than we do. Now, I do want to show y'all something, which is the jet stream. This shows us our troughs and ridges. Don't know what that means, basically. Trough is bad weather, ridge is good weather in most cases. As we head into Monday, you can see that we're going to have a trough rolling through. It's going to be negatively tilted, and you can see these dark colors here. This is what we call wind shear. We have differing winds with heights with different wind speeds. You can see the darker colors, the higher the winds. You could have an 80 mile an hour wind at the surface with a 100 mile an hour wind in the higher elevation at differing directions, and that's how you get your wind shear, basically. So it looks like there could be a lot of wind shear on Monday. One of the reasons why they issued the 15% chance for severe weather for all hazards. Now, another ingredient for severe weather is, of course, temperatures. We'll get into that, as it's looking like we're going to be heading into a very, very nice warm-up for the next few days, really all the way out into this weekend. But unfortunately, if you live out east, it's going to be very soggy, so unfortunately, you won't be able to enjoy the nice weather out there because it's going to be very soggy. All the way out into Sunday and Monday, we can see 80-degree temperatures as far north as the Dakotas. This is another reason why they issued the severe weather threats, because we have that nice warm air coming up from the Gulf of America, cold air coming down from our 51st state in Canada. Then it's going to get knocked out by a cold front, and it's looking like that cold air is going to be coming back in the short term, but then warm air is going to win out. And this is why I was saying that we could be coming back into another active weather pattern as we head to the end of this month and the beginning parts of May. So basically, we're going to be warm, y'all, for quite a while, at least up until we get past this severe weather event on Monday. But once we get past the severe weather event on Monday, could be dealing with some pretty chilly temperatures after a cold front moves through. But don't worry, Gonna be cold in the short term after we get past Monday, but that warmer air is going to start to make a return. Now, as we take a look at the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook by the Climate Prediction Center, as we head into the first day of May, we can see above average temperatures for really much of the central and eastern part of the country. The Mountain West is going to be near normal to below average, so dry and cool down here in the southwest. As we take a look all the way out into the beginning parts of May, much of the country is going to be above average unless you live down here in the desert southwest where it's going to be cool and dry, unfortunately. So typical springtime pattern where we're going to be hot one week and then we're going to deal with severe weather. It's going to knock out the hot air. Cool air is going to come in behind it, bring stable conditions, and then it's going to warm up again. And another active weather pattern is going to be setting up. Basically, that's what kind of weather pattern we're going to be heading into as we head into May. Now, of course, we're going to be heading into another flooding situation from the 29th into the 30th out here from Texas up into Indiana. So prepare for that if you live out here. Now, I did forget to show y'all last time the bird migration map. There was actually some bird migration last night, over 280 million birds right around midnight. Replay this here to show y'all. You can see after sunset, it's when birds start to migrate north. They're starting to migrate, y'all. Over 200 million birds are starting to move towards the north. Almost 300 million. So they're starting to move in, y'all. Fill up those bird feeders. We can see there's going to be even more tonight. Over 238 million birds. Although could be coming in on some severe weather down here in Texas and Kansas. Going to hinder some bird migration. Tomorrow, 247 million birds expected to move through. And on Thursday, 272 million. So the birds are starting to move through, y'all. Fill up with bird feeders. And on Thursday, there's actually going to be 3 planets that are going to be in the morning sky that you'll be able to see if you look out east. The moon's going to bunch up with Venus, Saturn, and Mercury. So look out to the east. You'll be able to see 3 planets with your naked eye. So now that we know what to expect for the next couple of weeks, let's go ahead and get into some significant weather events from April 22nd all the way into the 30th. Starting off with the April 22nd, 1997 tornado in South Carolina. There was an EF1 tornado that struck east-southeast of Tuberville in Clarendon County. The tornado injured 2 people, destroyed 5 mobile homes, and severely damaged others, highlighting the destructive potential of spring storms. The interesting fact is this tornado went through a mobile home community, which basically, don't be in a mobile home during a tornado warning. It's the worst place you can be. Now, there was also a tornado in Rainsville, Alabama on this same day. It actually occurred at nighttime. There's an EF2 tornado that occurred in DeKalb County. Damaged homes, businesses, and infrastructure, but there was no fatalities. And an interesting fact about this is the nocturnal timing made warnings challenging as many residents were asleep, complicating timely responses. And it's supposed to be a nighttime event tonight, so make sure you have alerts turned on, by the way. Take these warnings seriously. Now, from severe weather to snowstorms, there can be snowstorms that occur in late April. Heck, there was even snow in the Indy 500 at one time, but we see April 22nd to 23rd, 2005, there was a late season snowstorm in South Dakota that dumped over 7 to 11 inches for the state, setting a late season record in Aberdeen and Pierre, causing travel disruptions and structural damage, as there was a 40 by 64 foot warehouse roof in Kennebec that collapsed under the snow at 9:30 in the morning on April 23rd. Ranchers reported calf losses impacting local economy. Now from severe weather to snow to a heat wave. There was a heat wave in 1925 on April 24th. Keep in mind, they didn't have air conditioning back in the day. They used a good old fan to keep cool. And this heat wave occurred in the southeast with 99 degrees reported in Blackville, South Carolina, which was about 5 to 20 degrees above normal, which was an unusual event in late April. Interesting fact, this was among the earliest recorded extreme heat waves in the region. So we can see we can have severe weather one week, snowstorms the next, and a major heat wave the following week. And of course we have the April 27, 2011 Tuscaloosa tornado outbreak. An EF4 tornado devastated Tuscaloosa and Birmingham during the 2011 super outbreak with winds up to 190 miles an hour. It traveled 80.7 miles, destroyed 12% of Tuscaloosa, and killed 64 people, 44 in Tuscaloosa alone, and caused over $2.4 billion worth of damage, making it one of the costliest tornadoes ever. The significance of this is a record 360 tornadoes occurred on that day, killed 324 nationwide, exposed the preparedness gaps, and spurred advances in the tornado warning system. That's why you see so many tornado warnings nowadays too, is because of this event. Now, a fun fact, a Tuscaloosa dog named Mason was trapped under the rubble for days, limped home to his owner, becoming a symbol of hope, dubbed the Miracle Mutt on local news. So we can see that this is one of the reasons why the National Weather Service issues so many warnings, because of this event. Now, from significant war events to wartime weather history, we're going to break down the wartime weather from April 22nd to the 30th, starting off with the Revolutionary War. Now, keep in mind, they didn't keep much records back in the day, so records are very sparse. But we can see April 27th of 1777, the Battle of Richfield in Connecticut. During the Battle of Richfield, April 27th, 1777, part of the Danbury Raid, British forces under General William Tryon clashed with American militia led by Generals David Worcester and Benedict Arnold. Spring rain in late April had turned Connecticut roads muddy, slowing British movements after they raided Danbury from April 25th and the 26th. The wet conditions helped American militia harass the British retreat, using mud and fog to stage ambushes, though the British escaped to Long Island. Significance: the muddy terrain and rain limited British mobility, boosting American guerrilla tactics and morale. Despite the British technical success in destroying Patriot supplies, it showcased weather's role in irregular warfare. Fun fact, American militia nicknamed the muddy roads Patriot Pudding, joking that the British were stuck in the soup as they slogged back to their ships, with some soldiers losing boots in the mire. Now, the Civil War of April 1863, rainy conditions before Chancellorsville. Heavy spring rain in late April of 1863 soaked Virginia, turning roads into muddy slogs as Union and Confederate forces positioned for the Battle of Chancellorsville, May 1st to 6th. The wet conditions delayed Union General Hooker's river crossings, giving Confederate General Stonewall Jackson time to plan a flanking maneuver, later aided by mud that concealed troop movements. Significance: the weather influenced strategy and logistics, contributing to the Confederacy's tactical victory at Chancellorsville, a key moment despite heavy losses. Fun fact, Confederate soldiers jokingly claimed their muddy boots were Virginia's secret weapon as the muck slowed Union scouts, leading to campfire songs about General Mudd stealing the show. Now, World War I in 1918 reigned during German Spring Offensive. The German Spring Offensive in March to July of 1918 was in full swing by late April, but heavy rain across the Western Front turned battlefields like the Somme into mud. The wet conditions bogged down German tanks and artillery, slowing their push against Allied lines. British and French troops used the rain to regroup, though flooded trenches made life miserable for all. Significance: the rain disrupted Germany's momentum, helping Allies hold key positions and eventually counterattacks, a turning point in the war's final year. Fun fact, soldiers in Somme trenches invented a grim game called Mud Pie Derby, betting on whose makeshift rafts made from crates could float longest in flooded dugouts, a quirky way to cope with the deluge. Now, World War II, the last one here, April of 1940, spring storms during the Norway campaign. In late April of 1940, during the Norwegian campaign in April all the way into June, heavy rain and fog hampered both German and Allied operations. German advances in central Norway were slowed by muddy terrain and low visibility, while Allied landings at Namsos and Osnes faced storms that disrupted supply lines and air support. The weather gave small Norwegian resistance groups an edge, using fog for ambush. Significance: the harsh spring weather delayed German consolidation and prolonged Allied resistance, though Germany ultimately secured Norway by June. Fun fact, Norwegian resistance fighters used the foggy April weather to play pranks, leaving fake road signs in German that led Nazi patrols into swamps where locals jokingly said the invaders met the real Norwegian welcome. Now, lastly, let's get into some April folklore for late April. St. Mark's Day, April 25th. Western Europe, particularly Britain. St. Mark's Day was linked to weather predictions. A clear sunny day was believed to promise a fruitful harvest, while rain or storms foretold a poor growing season. The saying, if St. Mark's Day be fair, the harvest shall not fail. Of course, we all know the April showers bring May flowers saying. The proverb, April showers bring May flowers, is rooted in European folklore, especially in England. It suggests that late April frequent rains are essential for spring growth, symbolizing renewal. This ties into the idea that enduring wet weather in April leads to abundant blooms and crops in May. And I will have a May outlook up on April 29th, by the way, so stay tuned for that. Blackthorn winter. In parts of Europe, particularly in the UK, a cold snap in late April is called a blackthorn winter. Folklore links this to blooming of blackthorn bushes believed to coincide with brief, harsh weather. Farmers use this as a sign to delay planting until the cold passed. Cuckoo lore. In British and Irish folklore, the cuckoo's first call in late April was a weather omen. Hearing it from the right or in fair weather predicted a prosperous summer, but a call during rain or from the left signaled wet, unlucky season. The rhyme, the cuckoo comes in April, sings in May, changes tune in June, and then flies away. Now the last one here, in Germany, late April weather proverbs guided farming. For example, April wet, good harvest yet, suggesting that rain ensured fertile soil. Conversely, an unusually dry April was seen as a bad omen for crops. So hopefully y'all enjoyed today's little weather forecast. If you did, make sure to like, share buttons so more folks are informed about the weather. Also, leave me some feedback in the comment section down below, as feedback helps provide you, the viewer, better and more informative content in the future. And if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button down below. It's much appreciated. I also have a Rumble channel if you want to go follow that. It's WilliamsWX98. I'm up to 25 followers on there, so make sure you go check that out as well. So, sum up this video, basically in the next couple weeks is looking to be very soggy and very stormy out east, with some severe weather on Monday for the central and northern plains. There's a 15% chance for that area. I'll be keeping y'all informed on X and Facebook, and I might have a video out before then, so stay tuned, y'all. And unfortunately, if you live down there in the southwest, it's looking like the drought conditions are going to start to worsen down there. It's going to be dry and cool for the next couple of weeks, so that's unfortunate. And if you have any ski resorts in the Mountain West that are still open, get out there and enjoy those. Looks like it's going to be some fresh snow up on those ski resorts, so get out there and enjoy those, like I said earlier. But on top of all this, it's looking like it's going to remain warm for much of the lower 48. Could be coming on a little bit of a cool down after this severe weather moves through on Monday, but look like we're going to remain warm, y'all, so enjoy this nice spring weather while it lasts, because it's already going to be getting hot very, very quickly. The old saying goes, we typically go from winter to summer, it seems like. So enjoy spring weather while it lasts again. So again, like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate all y'all for watching. Enjoy your day. Have a great Earth Day, and make sure to get out there and see all those planets, like I said earlier. And until next time, appreciate all y'all for watching, and never stop forecasting.